I'm sorry, Mr. Walker.
How you doing, brother?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good
Sudi Chada,
morning.
we have can you hear me?
I can't see who's speaking to me.
Right here. I'm next to my client at the jail, Your Honor.
At the jail. At courtroom 2, Judge.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm here for Mr.
I'm
Jack.
looking and I'm not looking.
No problem.
Tell me your name, sir.
Sudi, S-U-R-I, Chada, C-H-A-D-H-A, 450033.
Gotcha. All right, let me give my opening and then we'll get started. Good
Thank you.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Regina Mincy, and I am the judge for today. We're going to begin with the Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. And this is a calendar for cases in which individuals have already been arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General has already accused these cases of the offenses brought against them. These cases are then bound over to the State Court of Fulton County. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's first or initial appearance before a state court judge. So we're going to address several matters, including bond, possible arraignment, and consideration of any possible plea offers if they have been made at this juncture. We're going to also be providing the individuals with reset date for SAP, which will be June 30th. Our reset date is June 30th. I'm going to also begin and advise everyone that this entire proceeding is being live streamed and recorded. It's being live streamed on YouTube and recorded. I also want the defendants to know that you have a constitutional right to have an attorney at this hearing. Most of you know who your attorneys are at this point. You also are to be reminded that you have the constitutional right to remain silent. Anything that you say about the facts and occurrences or the circumstances regarding your case can and will be used against you. So listen to your attorneys and govern yourself accordingly. All right, the first case we have is position 14, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Judge.
All right, and is it Mr. Kong or Kang? 22 CR 003892D, represented by Mr. Chaba. You're charged with 1 count of DUI under the influence of alcohol per se, and distracted drive and failure to exercise due care, both with the offense date of June 17th, 2022. Do you have anything pretrial?
First arrest.
First arrest? All right. And the prosecutor is Ms. Webb.
Yes, Your Honor. Can you just repeat the defendant's last name? I couldn't hear.
I believe is it Kong or Kang, Mr.
Kang,
Chaba?
Mr. Kang. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And good morning, Your Honor. Just on this case, it's a misdemeanor, the second count. He actually had a bond on the DUI. I spoke with the jail yesterday. He's been here for over 24 hours now. And they said the only reason he doesn't have a bond on the second count is because it's not a common one. And the Solicitor General is not one of the ones that are in their list of charges with a preset bond. He probably would have had one if it had been any other traffic violation, like, failure to maintain lane or speeding or whatever. So we've been trying to post a bond since yesterday. At this point, Your Honor, he's already spent more than the 24 hours that would have been required if he was to plead guilty to the charges. We're respectfully asking for an unsecured judicial release based on the delay because of it not being in the system. It being a misdemeanor, he did have a right and he would have posted it. Like I said, his family's been trying to post it. He's the owner of Top Beauty Supply. He owns 6 stores. He's gainfully employed. He has no criminal history. He lives in Jones Creek. He's lived in that address for the past 2 years, has been arrested in Georgia for 3 years. Before that, he lived in New Jersey. So he has very strong ties to the community. He creates jobs. He has no criminal history, no likelihood of reoffend, no likelihood to intimidate any witnesses. The only witness will be the officers. We don't have any concerns with that. Based on that, on those Ayala factors, Your Honor, we respectfully ask that he be released on an unsecured judicial hold.
All right. Ms. Webb, does the state have anything to add?
Yes, Your Honor. As Your Honor is aware, this incident did occur yesterday around the Abbott's Bridge and Medlock Bridge Road in Johns Creek, Georgia, where actually a citizen reported witnessing the driver, who is the defendant seated before you, asleep at the wheel, Your Honor. When Johns Creek Police Department arrived to that scene, they found him sleeping and at that intersection and knocked on the window to wake him up. He was confused and dazed, and officers could smell the alcohol coming from his person, Your Honor. The defendant was told to put the car in park as it was not at that time. And if he had anything to drink, he advised to that officer that he had a couple of beers. A few hours prior to, the officer responded to the scene. The officer did notice signs of intoxication, including bloodshot red eyes, slurred speech, and the defendant was not able to stand when he exited the vehicle. The officer did conduct field testing, Your Honor, which all indicated that he was indeed intoxicated at that time. Your Honor, the state is aware that there was not a bond given on that second charge for failure to exercise due care. However, we are requesting a total of a $2,000 surety bond for $1,000. We do understand, excuse me, Your Honor, we do understand there's a $1,000 preset surety bond for the DUI offense, but we are requesting an increase to a $2,000 surety bond, Your Honor, for the DUI offense, and a $1,000 surety bond for the failure to exercise due care with no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, we are aware that this is his first DUI, Your Honor. However, considering the facts of the circumstances that he was asleep at the wheel at a very busy intersection, he did pose a threat to the community and of Johns Creek, Your Honor, and to those citizens who are on the road, and to also add that that car was not in park at that time, and anything could have happened to result to injury to the defendant or other people and persons on the road at the time, Your Honor. So for those reasons, the state is requesting a total $3,000 surety bond today.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and order Mr. Chaba $2,000 signature bond. And that will be $1,000 on each of the charges. And that signature bond will be through the jail. And so then you can go ahead and get him processed, okay? So that's a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, and only drive if he has a valid license through DDS, and then limit that driving to work, lawyer's office, and to court, and doctor's appointments to receive medical treatment. And I think that would clear it up. Is there anything else that we need to address, counsel?
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor. Is there anything I need to prepare, or do they do all the paperwork internally?
They will do all that, and then I will sign and send it over.
Thank you. This concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Please make sure you don't forget to file an entry appearance, sir, on this.
Oh, Mr. Chaba, they're saying that you need to file an entry of appearance.
I will. Should I file at the solicitors or just or the state courts? I know it's free.
State court, please.
Can I email it to you?
Excuse me?
Can I email it?
Yeah, you can email it to me. That's fine.
Could you put it on the chat? I'll go ahead and write it down.
Okay, I will.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right, you're done. You can go back and have a seat. Next, we'll have position 21, Mr. Williams. This is also a private attorney case.
All right, this is 22 CR 0038887D. Mr. Corinthine Williams, you're charged with one count of battery family violence. The offense date is October the 30th of 2020. And pretrial, do you have anything?
16 total. Last arrest was back in May for probation violation and a fugitive from justice hold. He's on probation in Chatham County for theft by receiving. 2015, they gave him a 10-year sentence, 2 to serve, 8 probated. Also on probation for ag assault. He went to felony earlier and got a $35,000 bond.
All right, Ms. Webb.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred back in October 30th of 2020 at an address of 1010 West Peachtree Street, Northwest Atlanta. Your Honor, this incident, Atlanta Police Department received a call from citizens who were witnessing a domestic dispute, and they advised that they saw the defendant and the victim arguing in a car in that parking lot. Your Honor, that the caller advised that he is actively beating a woman, and upon the arrival, the officers did get a chance to speak with the witnesses and the victim, and the defendant was not at the scene at the time as he fled. The victim is Sherelle Jones, that's Sherelle Jones, common spelling, advised that the defendant choked her to the point that she almost passed out, and he struck her in her face multiple times with a closed fist, causing her to sustain blackened eyes and a swollen face and an injured nose. The witnesses and the victim reported that they heard him say that he was threatening to kill her during that attack, Your Honor. The victim was able to crawl out the car, but as advised by one of the witnesses, the defendant then exited the car and then slammed her head against the wall. Those people were standing by, and at that point, that is when they intervened and called the police and helped her by removing his grip from her to release her. He then hopped in his car and fled the scene, Your Honor. The parties did previously live together in Savannah in Chatham County, Your Honor. Ms. Sherelle did advise that the defendant has another DV case involving her in Savannah, Your Honor, and that he has an open case out of Atlanta involving the victim from a motel incident that occurred on February 2020, just 8 months earlier prior to this incident. Your Honor, the state is requesting a $7,000 surety bond with a no further contact order to Ms. Jones, a stay away from her home, as this did not occur at her location, but she has advised that she has been running from the defendant and he has located her, Your Honor. There's no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and 1-day anger awareness. We are concerned with Ms. Jones' safety, as he does have a pending aggravated assault charge where he has alleged tracked her down at her apartment and was peering through her window with a firearm with a laser beam on it, Your Honor, and pointing it at her while she was reading a text message that he sent her threatening her, Your Honor. So for those reasons, we are requesting that $7,000 surety bond, considering the defendant's history as well, Your Honor, for those ag assault charges out of Chatham County and that open battery with substantial harm case out of Atlanta from 2020. Nothing further.
All right, Mr. Walker,
Good afternoon, Judge.
good afternoon.
Judge, we just heard this in Superior Court. He's not a fugitive from justice. That has been resolved. He was in Chatham County on a probation violation based on these facts in these cases. One thing we established in felony court, the issue is whether or not he had a weapon in his hand, because she said she was looking out the window and he was behind some bushes. So he and she was in an altercation. She was in there with another man. And the understanding from my client is that that man pointed a weapon at him. We established that over in Superior Court. What we would ask the court is this, Judge, it's a 2020 case. He's not running from anything. He will resolve this issue when it comes to court. We would accept the $7,000 bond, and he already have a stay away in Superior Court as well.
Okay,
And Your Honor, if I can just clarify for the record that this particular incident is a separate and distinct incident. I believe the incident that defense counsel was referencing is that February 2020 incident. However, the incident that I put the facts on the record for is from October of 2020, Your Honor. Nothing further.
okay. All right, I will go ahead and order the $7,000 surety bond. I'm going to also order no further contact with the victim, Sherelle Jones, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. 1-day anger awareness course, and the stay away, I guess not to endanger the victim anymore. We'll just, with the no further contact, we won't use an address for stay away since there's already a stay away in place. He's to have no further contact with her anyway. Okay, is that
That's
sufficient
fine.
for the state?
Yes, Your Honor, that's fine.
All right, so that's a $7,000 surety bond.
Repeat
Thank
that
you,
again
Judge.
about the stay away, what you said, Judge?
We don't have an address for the stay away, and I don't know that I want to give an address due to danger for the victim. So he's to have no further contact with Ms. Jones unless there is an address that the state wants to put up for the stay away.
Judge, they put up a stay away address in Superior Court. So they did put up a stay away, and they put up an address for him not to go near.
Okay, do you want to use that same address, Ms. Webb? We can look it up and put it on the bond order.
Yes, Your Honor, just to be thorough, we can, please.
Yeah, unless Mr. Walker knows that address.
Yes, I have it. It's 1010. I think she mentioned it.
Oh, the
It's
1010 West Peachtree Street?
I have the
Yes,
1010 West Peachtree Street, unless that parking garage, I have it as a parking garage now, unless that's attached to the residence as well. I wasn't for sure based on the information I had, but if that's the address, Your Honor, we would request to stay away.
Okay.
Yes, according to the detective on that case, that is the address.
Okay,
Okay.
thank
All
you.
right, well, we'll go ahead and add Ms. Lewis to stay away from 1010 West Peachtree Street Northwest in Atlanta.
And I'm
Thank you,
assuming that's
Judge.
apartment 316.
Apartment 316, great, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
All right, that should conclude the matters. Council, anything else I need to take up?
Nothing
No,
further from
sir.
the state.
Say no, ma'am, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, all right.
May we be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, you may be excused, thank you.
Thanks.
Your Honor, if I may address the court,
I'm sorry.
Your Honor.
And you are whom?
This is ASG Tortorella with the state.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
It's all right. So in reference to Bryant Smith, I just accused the case today, and my superior chief, Andrea Alabi, she spoke to the jail and they were aware of his case to be heard today, as we are offering him a time served plea. So I was wondering if he could be heard today.
That would be a question for the jail, if they can get him around to the courtroom. I see in the chat that he's not on the calendar today.
Yes.
His case is accused to be on the SAP for June the 30th. He's already scheduled for that court date.
Okay, he's scheduled for June 30th.
And remember, I'm a one-man person here, so I have to do the file folder and everything. So I'm just letting y'all know he's already been scheduled for June the 30th.
Yeah, and I understand that. It's just my supervisor has already spoken to the jail, and we had already offered a time served.
So this is Lieutenant Dooley.
Yes,
Between two courtrooms already, I'm the third person. We're not gonna be able to pull him today.
all right, thank you. If you want, you can submit some paperwork after today or send that to Ms. Lewis to process later. See ASG Rothman on the line as well. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you, Judge. And I just wanted to speak up on behalf of what ASG Tortorella was just speaking about. We know this defendant has been in jail for quite some time. That's why we are concerned and would like to get him out and give him an offer so that he can get out of jail. I understand that it's been quite a few days that ASG Tortorella can speak to the amount of time, over 1 year, I believe.
It's over 1,000 days, Your Honor. I can go on his.
Ms. Lewis, is there any way they can submit the paperwork for after court possibly, or before we get off, to just sign the UJR? Or are you all no processing it as well?
Your Honor, we've just accused it today, so.
Oh, so it's
It's
a
a child
time served
abandonment
plea.
charge, Judge. It's a child abandonment charge, and he has a purge amount on it.
Oh, so I cannot do that. If it's a child abandonment with a purge on it. And you all are giving him credit for time served, but I thought with those in child support, they have to pay the purge, or child support has to do something to release that purge.
And if he's not being represented by this, the PD office, I'm pretty sure he's probably pro se. And like I said, they will have to, the paperwork, you have to have him in front of you, and the jail had already indicated that they're not able to.
They cannot do that today. Maybe put him on for Monday.
He can be placed on the Monday SCA calendar if that's the need to be, so I can make
Right.
that arrangement.
I would suggest doing that, then everyone can get the paperwork together, as well as the jail being able to pull him for Monday, June 20th at 2 p.m. So will that work for everybody? Put him on for Monday?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, all right, thank you. Who do you have before you, Lieutenant Dooley?
This is position 20. This is a private attorney case. Stephen Davis also has a visitor in the gallery.
Okay. Did she say they had a private attorney as well?
Yes, Judge.
And who is that? Are they, you said they were in the gallery, or where are they?
Who's your private attorney? Do you see them?
Who's the attorney representing Stevens Davis?
No, they have a visitor in the gallery.
Oh, just a visitor, not an attorney.
My mistakes, just the visitor. This is not a private attorney case.
Oh, okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and hear it. 22 CR 003896D. Is it Kyle Stevens Davis? You're charged with 1 count of DUI less safe, driving, possession, excuse me, of an open container, and a third charge, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, all with the offense date of June 17, 2022, pretrial.
First arrest.
First arrest, okay. All right, Ms. Webb.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday morning around 8:30 a.m. on the Georgia State campus around Fort Street and Irwin Street. The Georgia State Police Department found the defendant sleeping at the wheel of a running black Chevy Tahoe that was parked on that Georgia State campus. The officer knocked on the window to awake the defendant, and he advised that the defendant had slurred speech and that he's responded to the officer that he had too much to drink and needed to sleep it off. There was a naked woman in the passenger seat and also a empty bottle of Hennessy, a 375 milliliter bottle of Hennessy in the center console, Your Honor. The officer smelled alcohol coming from the defendant's breath and person and noticed that he was extremely sweaty. The defendant stumbled out of that vehicle and could not stand or maintain balance. The officer also located approximately half an ounce of marijuana in the vehicle, but the defendant did refuse field testing, Your Honor. We are requesting a total $3,000 surety bond with $2,500 surety for the DUI and $250 surety for the marijuana possession and $250 surety for the container, the open container, Your Honor, totaling $3,000 surety, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a stay away from the Georgia State campus, Your Honor, albeit that this is the defendant's first arrest. I think the facts do point that at some point he did have actual physical control and operation of that vehicle and operated to the point that he was driving that vehicle, Your Honor. And so for those reasons, we are concerned that he's a threat to himself and the community, Your Honor, for driving while intoxicated. So for those reasons, we are seeking that $3,000 surety. Nothing further.
All right, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Kyle Stevens Davis is 31 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 8 years. He is the proud father of 5 children. He is his 5 children are all minors. The oldest is 13, the youngest is 5. He is the primary caretaker for the 10-year-old, and he pays child support for the 4 remaining children. Mr. Stevens Davis earned a high school diploma. He is employed for armed security, and he carries a weapon. And Your Honor, I'm asking in the bond condition that you restrict the no weapons charge, the no weapons condition to times when he is not working, as he really needs this job to continue supporting his children. Regarding the allegations, today we're denying the allegations. My client does not have any prior history whatsoever. He is recommended for a signature bond. I am requesting that signature bond on his behalf. We are opposed to the stay away. Your Honor, Georgia State University has a vast campus, and I would ask that you not impose that to decrease my client's condition of violating a bond condition, Your Honor. And in summary, we are requesting a signature bond. We are opposed to the weapons at all times, and of course, we're opposed to the stay away. Thank you, Your Honor.
Just making sure he doesn't do security or work at Georgia State, does he?
He does not work at Georgia State, but he does not work at Georgia State, but we just don't want a restriction from that campus.
So he was stopped in the middle of the street on the campus or near the campus, Ms. Webb?
It was a lot on the campus, Your Honor.
Okay, a parking lot on the campus?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to order that he have a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to break that down. Miss Lewis, 2,500 on the DUI, 250 on the open container, and 250 on the marijuana. And I'm going to order no drugs or alcohol while on bond, and a limited conditional usage of a weapon for his job if he still has that job. If he does not have the job, then he should not have a weapon on him for any other reasons but for work. And as far as the stay away from Georgia State campus, I do understand it's a vast area in downtown Atlanta, so I will not enter a stay away. Anything else, counsel, that I need to take up?
Nothing from the defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing else from the state, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Next, we have position 10. Mr. Hurd also has a visitor in the gallery. Hold on, ma'am. Hold on. Hold on, ma'am. Just have a seat.
Okay. This is case number 22 CR 0038881G, Bernard Hurd. You're charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit a misdemeanor. The offense date is 5/24/2022. Do you have anything pre-trial?
Third arrest. Last was 2005. Battery / simple battery family violence was dismissed. Before that was in the 90s.
Okay.
He was recommended. I forgot about him.
Okay. All right, Ms. Tartarella.
I apologize, I was on mute. Yes, Your Honor. So for the battery, I believe it was battery family violence, we're asking, I'm sorry, conspiracy to commit a misdemeanor. We're asking for a $1,000 surety bond. The conditions is that he have no contact with the co-defendants, the co-conspirators, Anthony Carter, traditional spelling, and Brenda Jackson, traditional spelling. That he stay away from the incident location at 200 Piedmont Avenue Southeast in Atlanta. That he have no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law while he's out on bond. Your Honor, I understand that he only has 3 cycles, though it does show potential of reoffending while out on bond. He is currently wanted by the Georgia State Patrol, according to GCIC. And the facts of the case are as follows, Your Honor. On May 24th, 2022, defendant Bernard Hurd informed Anthony Carter to go to 200 Piedmont Avenue Southeast in Atlanta, and the security guard, Brenda Jackson, would be there to grant him access to the loading dock. The defendant was aware that Mr. Carter had to pay Ms. Jackson in order to gain access to the property. The defendant was also aware that the items in the dumpster were not to be removed without permission of the owner. And the defendant was not at the location the day of the theft, but was aware Mr. Carter would be. The defendant was arrested, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Bernard Hurd is 55 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 35 years. He is married and has been so for 26 years. He has 3 children. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at the incident location. Mr. Hurd informs me that this is his place of employment, Otis Elevators. He has been employed as an elevator apprentice at this location for 18 years, and he has not been terminated. Your Honor, Mr. Hurd completed 3 years of college in journalism. Again, he is employed. Your Honor, Mr. Hurd denies the allegations. He turned himself in, and regarding that warrant that ASG Tortorello mentioned, my client and I are unaware of any such warrant. My client has no significant and or recent history, he is recommended for a signature bond. I'm requesting a signature bond on Mr. Hurd's behalf. We are opposed to the stay away for reasons stated. And as I understand it, Ms. Jackson is a security officer at his company. So I would ask for a no violent contact order with her. And of course, we're unopposed to the no contact with Mr. Anthony Carter. Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge,
Yes,
man,
yes.
the warrant that state was talking about, that's discharge. Capitol Police falls up on the state patrol, so that's why it seems like that.
Oh, okay, so it's discharged.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy. That's what it says. Stolen
And-
property.
And Your Honor, if I may, I would like to bring to the court's attention, as we heard, the date of this incident is May 24th, and my client did turn himself in, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank
And
you.
Your Honor, on behalf of the state, I apologize for the miscommunication regarding the warrant. However, the no violent contact that opposing counsel is asking does not really apply. This is not a violent offense. This is a conspiracy between parties, Your Honor. So therefore, no violent contact would be appropriate. Nothing further.
Okay. All right, I'm going to give the $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. And I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And as far as no further violent contact with the co-defendants, Anthony Carter and Brenda Jackson. And I won't worry about the stay away since that's his place of employment if he's still working there. So that's all that I will order at this time.
And Your Honor, to be clear, you're stating no violent contact with the co-defendants?
Right. Is it no violent contact or no contact? ASG Tortorello stated just no contact for conspiracy possibilities.
Your Honor, I'm just asking for no contact. This is not a violent offense. So this is an offense regarding conspiracy.
Oh, I think I misunderstood you then. Okay, so I will order, I'm sorry, Ms. Lewis, no further contact with Anthony Carter or Brenda Jackson, no further contact.
Your Honor, if I may, Ms. Jackson is employed at his place of employment. And that's specifically why I asked for the no violent contact order.
She's the security guard. I didn't realize that she's the security guard at, and the conspiracy was at his job. Okay. Kind of strange situation. You know, whatever's going to happen is going to happen with them. But he's not a security guard though, correct?
No, Your Honor, he is an elevator apprentice.
So I don't know, you know, if they're gonna commit a conspiracy to do crime, I guess that'll work itself out eventually. And they'll all be arrested or be charged with that. I don't know. But he's charged now with the conspiracy to commit a misdemeanor. So I don't know that I have any way to ensure about no further contact with any co-conspirators, their co-workers. Don't know that I can do that safely in the sense that I don't know if Ms. Jackson is threatened by him. So I'll just go ahead and say,
Your Honor.
Mr. Hurd, please do not speak while the judge is ruling. I will give you a call with any concerns.
so to make this clear for Ms. Lewis, we got the $1,000 signature bond through pretrial, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I'm not going to worry about any type of contact or anything with the co-conspirators. I'm just going to leave that out of the bond order at this point. That will take care of itself, I guess, eventually.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just leave that off altogether.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Right, thank you.
Next, we have position 6, Dixon.
right, this is case number 22 CR 003876Y. Jerry Dixon, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. The offense date is June 17th, 2022. Pretrial.
14 total. He had a 2014 arrest in Alabama for shoplifting and false statements. Those were convictions. Last arrest in Georgia, 2019, theft by taking conviction out of Columbia County. 2019 probation violation, shoplifting out of Bibb. 2019 probation violation, driving without a valid license. The 2017 shoplifting conviction. 2017 driving without a valid license conviction. 2016 probation violation, ag assault. He was convicted for ag assault in 2011. And a 2010 shoplifting conviction. That's it.
All right. Ms. Tortorella.
Yes, Your Honor. For this case, we're asking for $1,000 surety bond. The conditions is that he stay away from the incident location at 25 Peachtree Street Southeast in Atlanta. That's the Walgreens. No drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law while he's out on bond. On June 17th, 2022, Officer Sample Britton of the Atlanta Police Department was working an extra job at the Walgreens, 25 Peachtree Southeast in Atlanta. While in the store, multiple employees flagged the officer down about a man, defendant Jerry Dixon, who was in the store. The defendant had just received a criminal trespass warning the day before from an officer for shoplifting. While the store manager was speaking to the defendant, the store manager asked him why he was in the store. The defendant responded, quote, "because I want to," end quote. The officer detained the defendant and asked if he did not understand the criminal trespass warning he was given the day prior. The defendant said, quote, "yes, but I wanted to come back in," end quote. The officer arrested the defendant, and all these events occurred in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, this defendant has a history, so there's a risk of him reoffending while he's out on bond, and not only reoffending, but committing felonies. You've heard of the 2011 aggravated assault conviction. He has 1 cycle out of Alabama, 13 cycles in Georgia. He has theft by shoplifting convictions in 2014 out of Alabama, 2017 out of Bibb County State Court, and 2019 conviction out of Columbia County Superior Court. He was arrested on August 2nd, 2012 for criminal trespass by the East Point Police Department, but that was dismissed. Violations of probation, he had 1 recent one on July 12, 2019 out of Fulton County. That probation was revoked, and a April 29th, 2016 probation violation arrest out of Fulton County. Nothing further from the state.
All right, Ms. Thomas, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Your Honor?
Good.
Thank you. Your Honor, Mr. Dixon did express to me that he is not going to be able to make that $1,000 bond that's currently set. We are asking for a reduction if he is not eligible for the signature bonds. Mr. Dixon is 31 years of age. He is a resident of Stone Mountain. He has been a Georgia resident all of his life. He does have family members and friends residing in the state. Mr. Dixon did complete some college. Right now, Mr. Dixon is self-employed. He does do makeup and hair on the side. However, his finances would not allow him to make a $1,000 bond. So again, we are asking for a reduction in the current bond that the state is asking for. If he's not eligible for a signature bond, we're asking for a bond no more than $500. Mr. Dixon also is not opposed to the stay away from the Walgreens.
Okay. And there's no other employment other than the self-employment for Mr. Dixon?
Yes, Your Honor. He expressed that he only, at this time, he only does makeup and hair. And he has been doing that for, I want to say, the past 2 years.
And he's how old again?
He is 31.
All right, I'm going to continue with the $1,000 surety bond. Gonna order no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. And stay away from the Walgreens on Peachtree Street, 25 Peachtree. Mr. Dixon, you are to stay away from there, else you'll be arrested again, brought back to the jail. So now you have it as a bond condition. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. All right, 1,000 surety bond and stay away from 25 Peachtree Street.
Done. Next, we have position 1, Boswell. Oh, yeah.
This is 22 CR 003872E. Shannon Boswell, you're charged with 1 count of battery, 2nd count of affray or fighting, both the offense date of June 17, 2022. Retrial?
Fifth arrest. Last arrest was May 27th in the cab. Criminal trespass. 2021, possession of a Schedule 2 crack cocaine is what it says. Possession of drug-related objects. The possession was dismissed. 2012 probation violation for shoplifting. And the original 2012 shoplifting arrest itself. Conviction.
All right,
That's all.
thank you. Martorello?
Yes, Your Honor. For the battery, it's a $3,000 surety bond. For the affray, a $2,000 surety bond, total of $5,000 in surety. The conditions, no contact with the cross defendant, Michael DeBose, and the last name is spelled D as in dog, U, B as in boy, O-S-E. To stay away from the West End MARTA station at 680 Lee Street in Atlanta. A 1-day anger management class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on June 17th, 2022, an Officer C. Bolton of the MARTA Police Department was dispatched to a fight call in the bus loop at the West End MARTA station, 680 Lee Street in Atlanta, for the record. The officer was provided with a description of the 2 males fighting. Once the officer approached the 2 male suspects matching the description, he detained them. The officer found the suspects standing, facing each other in an aggressive fighting stance. The officer later identified the suspects as defendant Shannon Boswell and cross-defendant Michael DeBose. The officer learned through his investigation that the defendant Boswell, struck cross-defendant DeBose, which caused Mr. DeBose to fall on the concrete sidewalks and sustain abrasions and bleeding on his right elbow. The defendant was arrested, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, the defendant here has 5 cycles, as you heard, from pretrial. Also, the most recent arrest of criminal trespass, which appears to be open out of DeKalb County. And the arrest was made by the DeKalb County Police Department. Was also arrested for a felony possession of Schedule 2 controlled substance last year, June 4th of 2021. The defendant has had probation violations, which the probation was revoked on October 11th, 2012. So for all these reasons, Your Honor, we do feel like a $5,000 surety bond is more than reasonable for this case. Nothing further.
All right, Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, we're going to be asking for a bond amount no more than $2,000. If Mr. Boswell, if Ms. Boswell is not eligible for a signature bond, we'll be asking for a bond no more than $1,000 on the battery, and then another $1,000 on the added charge of affray. Ms. Boswell is 28 years of age. She is a resident of Atlanta. She's been a Georgia native all of her life. She has family residing here. Unfortunately, Ms. Boswell is not working at the time. She and Mr. Du Bois were in a relationship. They had been in a relationship for the past 5 months. Ms. Boswell is also asking for no further violent contact. They would like to remain in contact. It's my understanding that they are still continuing a relationship, Your Honor. So again, we are asking for a bond amount no more than $2,000, given Ms. Boswell's lack of finances at this current time.
Okay, I'm going to order a $3,000 surety bond, $1,500 on each charge. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. I'm going to order a no further contact at this time with the victim, Michael DeBose. And I guess there's no reason at the moment on the stay away, I think, from the Lee Street Station. Is the state asking for that?
Yes, Your Honor, the state's asking for that.
All right, I will enter as part of the conditions, a stay away from the Lee Street MARTA station for Ms. Boswell. And that will conclude the ruling.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
We're done. Next, we have position 4, Coker.
Okay. This is 22 CR 003874A. Aaron Coker, you're charged at 1 count of theft by taking. The offense date is February the 15th, 2022. Pre-trial?
19 cycles. Last arrest was in June 2nd this month. Failed to appear out of Douglas County. February, he was arrested for theft by receiving felony fleeing, suspended license, obstruction, DUI. He got a possession of drug-related objects arrest from 2021 Cobb County. March 2021, obstruction, shoplifting, conspiracy to commit a misdemeanor, and another shoplifting. That was out of Douglas County. 3 counts, theft by taking conviction from 2019. He's got more shoplifting. He got a lot shoplifting.
All right, that's good. Ms. Tartarella?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's asking for the $2,000 surety bond already in place to increase to a $6,000 surety bond. The conditions is that he stay away from the incident location, which is the Best Buy at 2537 Piedmont Road in Atlanta. That the defendant take a theft class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, this is supposed to be a theft by shoplifting, a felony, since defendant stole items over $500. The state will be requesting a felony transfer for this case. The defendant is likely to reoffend and commit felonies while out on bond, Your Honor. He has 2 open felony cases, 22 CP 206843, that's theft by receiving, fleeing and eluding, reckless driving, and DUI. The offense date, February 7th, 2022, 22 CP 206860, theft by shoplifting. The offense date is January 28th, 2022. He has a $25,000 surety bond for both of these cases. To add, Your Honor, he has holds in Cobb and Douglas counties without bond. Your Honor, he also poses a danger to public safety just due to the fleeing and eluding, the reckless driving, the DUI. Your Honor, on February 15th, 2021, Officer R. Miranda of the Atlanta Police Department responded to Best Buy at 2537 Piedmont Road in Atlanta, Fulton County, Georgia, in reference to a shoplifter who was no longer on scene. Upon arrival, Mr. Gerardo Martinez, the general manager, stated the suspect entered the store around 1:30 p.m. and shoplifted several items by passing all points of sale with no intention to pay for the items. The items were 4 Amazon Fire TV sticks, $29.99 each, a Roku streaming stick, $49.99, a Roku Express device, $24.99, and 3 Fire TV cubes, $119.99 each. All items totaled $554. The suspect was described as a black male, blue jeans, black t-shirt, purple puffer jacket, and black and white cap. Mr. Martinez said the suspect got into a yellow Ford Explorer, tag number RHL1937, and fled the scene. The incident was caught on video camera. According to officers, the suspect's vehicle is a stolen vehicle that occurred earlier that morning. Detective J.R. Bilek of APD took over the case and was able to obtain good pictures of the suspect leaving from the back with the products in the vehicle he showed up in from the surveillance video. The detective ran the vehicle's tag number through the FUSUS system, where he found 4 hits on February 16th and 17th, 2021. The detective then ran the vehicle's tag number again through the CopLink system, where few hits came back, with 1 on February 17th, 2021, where the suspect fled from the Georgia State Patrol. GSP used the pit maneuver to disable the car when the suspect attempted to flee. GSP arrested the suspect, who was identified as defendant Aaron Coker. The detective was able to pull a mugshot picture from the arrest, and the photographer was of the same person that stole the items from Best Buy. The photography was of the same person, Your Honor. So, Your Honor, he has 18 cycles, recent conviction, February 28th, 2022, possession of cocaine, which was reduced to drug-related objects in Cobb County Superior Court. Like you've heard from pretrial, he has various theft by shopliftings and theft offenses on his record. Recent convictions of theft are in 2020 out of Fulton County Superior Court, 2018 out of Fulton County State Court, and theft by shoplifting for 2018 out of Fulton County State Court. Various violations of probation, Your Honor. Most recent one, 2019 out of Fulton County. And various FTAs, the most recent one, June 2nd, 2022, just this month, Your Honor, out of Douglas County. So for that reason, Your Honor, we do feel a $6,000 surety bond is more than reasonable for this defendant. Nothing further.
All right, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident date from February 15th. Mr. Coker has been in custody since February 22nd. He's been in custody a total of 117 days. He does not have the holds in Douglas and Cobb County. Mr. Coker was just transferred from those counties. They have been resolved, and they are awaiting the resolution in his current cases in Fulton County. Is also my understanding given by Mr. Coker that he was accepted into the drug court or some type of accountability court program, and that is what he will be doing to help him in resolving these felony cases, Your Honor. We're asking for the current bond that has been preset at $2,000 to remain. Mr. Coker has not and will not be able to make any bonds. As we heard, he already has a $25,000 surety bond on those felony cases. Again, he's been in custody 117 days. He's not going anywhere. He cannot make an additional $6,000 bonds on this misdemeanor offense. Mr. Coker strongly denies these allegations as well. He is 35 years of age. He is a Georgia resident. He's been here since 2000. He has family here. He is a father of 5 sons, all aging from 15 to 11. He is currently unemployed. He has had some college education, Your Honor. Given his situation, these pending felonies, his lack of finances, again, we are asking for the current bond of $2,000 to remain as set.
And Your Honor, I still do see on the jail screen that he does have those 2 holds, one of Douglas and one out of Cobb County.
All right, I will rule that the $2,000 surety bond will remain. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And stay away from 2537 Piedmont Road, which is the Best Buy. I will issue a stay away for that. And I think that will conclude my ruling unless there's anything else that council feels I need to take up.
Nothing from the defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Next, we have position 15, La Rosa.
This is 22 CR 003893D, Elias La Rosa. You're charged in one count of following too closely and a second count of DUI less safe, both with the offense date of June 17, 2022, pretrial.
22 total. Last arrest was in February for smuggling aliens. It was in Texas. He got history out of Texas, Kentucky, Florida, and Tennessee. North Carolina as well. I'll start with North Carolina first. 2012, breaking and entering, dismissed. 2006 in Tennessee, says driving on revoked license. Florida got a 2012 fugitive warrant, fugitive arrest. 07 suspended license. 04 suspended license as well. 2009 Kentucky, possession of drug paraphernalia, trafficking marijuana. Last arrest in Georgia was 2019 FTA, false report of a crime. 2014 FTA, 2006 FTA, and a 03 DUI conviction. All right.
Okay. Ms. Webb.
Yes, Your Honor. As you're aware, this incident occurred on yesterday around the Medlock Bridge and State Bridge Road in Johns Creek. The Johns Creek Police Department responded to an accident call, and the defendant was cited at fault in that accident, Your Honor. Officers spoke with him and noticed a strong smell of alcohol coming from his breath and his person. He exhibited signs of intoxication, including slurred speech, sleepy and lethargic demeanor, and glossy eyes. In addition to, Your Honor, the field testing that was conducted at the scene led the officer to believe that he was intoxicated at the time. The defendant did voluntarily submit to a blood test, Your Honor, and our office is still waiting on those results. There is a preset bond, Your Honor, for the defendant for $265 for the following too closely offense. However, the state is requesting a $500 surety for that offense. There is as well as a $3,500 surety for the DUI offense, totaling $4,000 surety, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no driving if he is not licensed. I wanted pretrial to confirm whether or not he is licensed, because he does have several license revocation and suspension offenses in various states, as we've heard from pretrial, Your Honor. We are concerned that he is a threat to the community and a flight risk, and that he does have a risk of reoffending, Your Honor. In this particular incident, he did cause an accident in which in which another citizen did suffer personal property damage, Your Honor, as well as those previous DUI convictions. And he has several FTAs across multiple jurisdictions, including Gwinnett County from 2019, Cherokee from 2014, Lawrenceville in 2006. That's just Georgia alone. That does not include the fugitive that he has, a wanted fugitive out of Tampa from 2012, FTAs out of other FTAs out of Florida as well, Your Honor, as well as that Oakland case out of Texas, Your Honor. So for those reasons, we are requesting that $4,000 total surety bond today.
All right, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Elias La Rosa is 39 years old. He tells me that he's born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. He is the proud father of 5 children. Four of them are minors, and the youngest is age 5. Your Honor, Mr. La Rosa completed high school. He also has some college. He is self-employed at West Coast Custom Shower Doors. Therefore, he certainly has community ties, Your Honor. He denies the allegations. And while I acknowledge my client's history, the driving offenses that I heard about were the latest in 2007, the DUI conviction in 2003. I believe that those are too remote for the court to consider. And further, Your Honor, the FTA was 3 years ago, and according to pretrial. He was arrested February 23rd, 2022. We did not hear about any FTAs rising from that arrest. Therefore, I am requesting a signature bond, Your Honor, and if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then I would ask that you leave the bond as set, and that would be $1,000 for the DUI and $265 for following too closely. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to enter a $3,000 surety bond, which will be $500 on the following too close, and $2,500 on the DUI, for a total of $3,000. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And no driving unless you have a valid driver's license. And if you do, limited driving for work. See your attorney for the courthouse and for medical purposes. And I guess that'll be it for the ruling.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Deputy.
Position number 3 is next.
Okay. This is 22 CR 003873G. Is it Catlin? Charged with
Yes.
one count of battery, family violence, offense date 6/17/2022.
You waiting on me?
Yes, pretrial.
Oh, it's her first arrest. She's 17, so.
She's 17. Okay.
Correct.
All right. State, Ms. Tortorella, can you give me just a summary, please?
Yes, Your Honor. All right, Your Honor, she doesn't have any criminal history. So what we're asking for is a $4,500 surety bond, though the state won't oppose to a unsecured judicial release. Conditions is that she have no contact with the victim, Demetria Shaw. And the first name is spelled Demetria, last name Shaw. And to stay away from 1401 Belmont Avenue Southwest in Atlanta. A one-day anger management class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, in this case happened on June 17th, 2022 at the incident location of 1401 Belmont Avenue Southwest in Atlanta. The officers learned through their investigation that there was a physical altercation between the defendant, Nevia Catlin, and the victim, Demetria Shaw. The defendant committed battery against Ms. Shaw, which caused the victim to sustain lacerations to the left side of her face and upper chest area. And both the defendant and Ms. Shaw is the defendant's aunt. Ms. Shaw is the defendant's aunt, and they live together. The defendant was arrested, and all these events occurred in Fulton County, Georgia. Nothing further.
Okay. Do we have, I'll give my ruling, but I also want to ask a question for Ms. Catlin, since she's 17. She's got to have someone to sign a bond for her. So Ms. Thomas, go ahead and give me the information on the defendant, but that is one of the questions I'd like to know.
Right. And unfortunately, Your Honor, Miss Catlin, her phone was broke. First and foremost, she does deny being the primary aggressor. She says that her aunt broke her phone in the midst of this altercation. So she hasn't been able to contact her older sister. Ms. Catlin also has a case manager. Her name is Miss Deborah. However, we haven't been able to get in contact with anyone from the Gwinnett County DFACS, I believe because the office is closed on Saturdays. We are asking for no further violent contact. We're not opposed to a stay away. I believe Ms. Deborah spoke with Ms. Catlin before coming here. She's going to assist her with new placement. However, Ms. Catlin is the mother of a 2-year-old who just turned 2 on the 16th. That 2-year-old is still in the custody well, not in the custody, but with the aunt. So she needs to get her child back. She's going to have to communicate with her aunt to get her child back and get her remaining belongings when she leaves that residence, if she does have to leave. So we are asking for no further violent contact. We are asking for the UGR, Your Honor, given Miss Catlin's age. She has no criminal history, specifically no history of violence, no issues with the aunt outside of this alleged incident. So we are asking for the unsecured judicial release. We understand she may need a cosigner. We ask that she be released to the custody of her case manager once she is able to get in contact with her. I don't have her last name. Ms. Catlin, you're going to have to remember your case manager's last name if the judge rules that she can co-sign for you to be released given your age. She has been a Georgia native all of her life, Your Honor. She does have her aunt here, so some family. Her child is here. She's employed. She's gainfully employed. She's been working at Waffle House. She is currently missing work right now, and she's been employed there for a year, Your Honor. So that's all the information I have that Ms. Catlin was able to give me.
Is she attending high school? Did she graduate, or what's her schooling? If she's been working at Waffle House for a year since she was 16.
The schooling is going to depend on, well, she anticipates going back. They're out for the summer, but it's going to depend on whether or not she goes back to her aunt's house. If she is staying away, obviously this would be a jurisdictional issue or what school she'll be attending to. But if she can't go back to the aunt's, she's going to have to find another place, obviously by her case manager, and then go from there. But that is why we're asking for the no further violent contact.
Well,
we haven't had a chance to get in contact with the aunt. There wasn't a number provided. And again, my client's cell phone was broken.
Mr. Purcell, have you, from the ASGs, have you all had any contact with the victim, the aunt in this case?
Good afternoon, Judge. I didn't see that case in my email. I didn't see that case.
Okay.
I apologize for that. That's
That's
what I was
okay.
looking at.
Yeah, I've got some, I have some concerns, releasing her to go back to the aunt. If there's history there, there's not been ample cooling off. I know that her child is there, and seems like the aunt, I guess, won't do any harm to the child, but putting the two of them back together, and she's trying to get her child. She's only 17, working at Waffle House.
Your Honor, is it possible for her to get a signature bond through the jail? Would a cosigner be required if she had a signature bond through the jail?
Pre-trial, wouldn't she still need? Nope. No,
I'm sorry, what is it?
I was saying, I was asking pre-trial or anybody that knows, if she's 17 and has a signature bond through the jail, does she still need a cosigner?
No.
Then, Your Honor, we would respectfully ask that she be given a signature bond through the jail, and we wouldn't be opposed to the stay away. We just ask that she be allowed with a police escort to get her son and her belongings.
All right. Okay, let me do this. I will give a $4,500 signature bond through the jail. I will order a stay away from 1401 Belmont Avenue. But what I'm going to do, Ms. Catlin, is allow you a one-time police escort to go back to get your personal belongings and your son. You have to arrange that with law enforcement. Cannot go back on your own. Unfortunately, you're going to have to find somewhere else to stay with this older sister, or if your case manager can help you with placement. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I'm going to order you to take a one-day anger management course. So good luck to you, okay?
And Your Honor, what about?
Clarify the, sorry, this is Katrina. Can you clarify no further violent contact or no further contact?
No further contact.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Position number 8 is next, please.
This is 22 CR 003878F, Kawanda Glover, charged with 1 count of battery family violence. The offense date is June 17th, 2022. Pre-trial.
12 total. Last arrest was 2018, failure to appear. Underlying charge was driving without a valid license. DUI. 2016, driving without a valid license conviction. Had a DUI conviction, suspended license conviction. FTA, possession of cocaine, I guess reckless conduct from 2013. 07, failure to appear. Had a crew 10 the first. It was amended to reckless conduct conviction from 07. That's it.
Okay. Ms. Tortorella.
Yes, Your Honor. For the battery family violence charge, you're asking for an $8,000 surety bond. The conditions is that she have no contact with the victim, Jean Donjoy. The first name is spelled Jean. The last name is D as in dog, O, N as in Nancy, Joie. That she stay away from 2171 Tiger Flowers Drive Northwest in Atlanta. That the defendant take a 1-day anger management class. I'm sorry, Your Honor. There's
And a lot of feedback. Okay, there they go. Go ahead.
So, yes, Your Honor. A 1-day anger management class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on June 17th, 2022, Atlanta Police Department was dispatched to 2171 Tiger Flowers Drive Northwest in Atlanta. Upon arrival, the officer spoke to Mr. Jean Donjoy, who said the defendant, Kawanda Glover, stabbed him in the nose with a crack pipe. The officer did observe a small puncture wound on the victim's nose. The defendant was arrested, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, the defendant has a risk of reoffending. She has 12 cycles on her record. Not only that, she has a failure to appear in 2018 out of Fulton County. I also heard from pretrial she had another failure to appear in 2013, and she was convicted of a cruelty to children in the first degree, which was reduced to reckless conduct back in 2007, Your Honor. So she has violent history. And for that reason, Your Honor, we do feel like, just based on the facts of this case and her criminal history, that an $8,000 surety bond is more than reasonable. Nothing further.
All right, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're going to be asking for a bond amount no more than $2,000 if Ms. Glover is not eligible for a signature bonds. Ms. Glover is 42 years of age. She's an Atlanta resident. She has been living in Georgia all of her life. Her family resides here. Ms. Glover is also the mother of 4 children, all ranging from the ages from 26 down to 18. Ms. Glover also expressed to me that one child is deceased, and how that child's birthday would be tomorrow. That her family had planned a celebration for that her son's birthday, given that he is now deceased. She's been hoping to continue in those plans and celebrating her son's life. She wishes to be able to get out. She expressed she's not going to be able to make a high bond amount. That's why we're asking for a bond amount no more than $2,000. She expressed to me also that her and Mr. Donjoy had been in a relationship for the past 2 years. They had been living together at her home. She is the primary leaseholder where they were residing. Right now, she is currently unemployed, but she does do some work with a friend doing Uber Eats. Her friend owns her own restaurant, and I believe Ms. Glover transports food deliveries for her via Uber Eats, Your Honor. So again, given Mrs. Glover's lack of finances at this time, given that she had expressed that she had already had a planned celebration for her deceased son. We are asking that she be allowed to at least have a bond no more than $2,000 so that she can make the proper arrangements in trying to get out of custody. At this time, we're not opposed to having no further contact with Mr. Donjoy. Again, they were residing at her home. Not sure if Mr. Donjoy is still there. We haven't had a chance to get in contact with him, Your Honor, but we're asking that she be allowed to go back home, that she be given the $2,000 surety bond, not opposed to no further contact.
All right, so the 2171 Tiger Flowers Drive is her residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, I'm going to order a $4,000 surety bond. And with the $4,000 surety bond, I'm going to order a one-day anger awareness course. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I'm going to order no further contact with Mr. Gene Donjoy. And in regard to the stay away, I won't order that, but Ms. Glover, if you go back there and Mr. Donjoy has not removed himself from your home, I'm just trying to make sure that he will be safe and that there be no further incidents. Do you have somewhere else you can go stay?
No, I was saying, I can't go through pretrial or anything to get out. Or sign through the jail, because I really don't know. We have it right now, and I was trying to really get out for tomorrow.
Well, given your history, which is what I'm looking at.
I know.
Ms. Glover, let the judge make her ruling.
Okay.
Your Honor, as far as the stay away or lack of, is there any way that it could be placed on her bond that she go with a police escort to check to see if the victim's still there? And if he's not, then she could go ahead and go back.
Right. Let's do it that way. Let's do the stay away conditional on going back with law enforcement to make sure that Mr. Donjoy has vacated the residence. If he is not, then you need to find alternate housing. If he is there, you need to find alternate housing. If he's not there, you can go ahead and stay there. But what I'll do is on the surety bond, I'm not inclined to give you a signature bond, but I will lower it to $3,000. And so I'll do a $3,000 surety bond. All right.
Thank you.
That's going to be my ruling for today.
Position number 19 is next.
This is 22 CR 0038889A, Summer Stevens. You're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, a 2nd count of public indecency, all with the offense date of June 17, 2022. Pre-trial.
14 total, between Illinois, Indiana, and South Carolina. She was arrested on the 16th of this month, misdemeanor possession of marijuana. She went to the city jail for that. Hold on. Last arrest in Illinois was 2018, trespass. What else? 2017, criminal damage to property. Last arrest in Indiana was 2017 for resisting law enforcement. It just says plea by agreement. 2018, resisting law enforcement. South Carolina got a 2019 malicious injury to personal property. 2019 unlawful carrying of a weapon, giving false name. Those were convictions. Another 2019 arrest for giving false information, conviction. 2019 armed robbery with a deadly weapon, 2 counts. 2 counts of criminal conspiracy. I don't see a disposition for that. 2019 assault and battery 3rd degree conviction. 2021 assault and battery 1st degree arrest. 2021 criminal conspiracy arrest. Another 2021 assault and battery 3rd degree, trafficking meth / cocaine. The assault and battery was a conviction. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Tortorella.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to ask if we should break out given the offense, or should I just proceed?
Can you do it discreetly in the essence of time?
I can do it quickly, Your Honor, yes.
Ms. McLeod, do you have any objection to that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor, for the PI charge, a $2,000 surety bond; for the criminal trespass, a $1,000 surety bond, total of $3,000 good bond. The conditions is that she stay away from 40 Pryor Street Southwest in Atlanta. That's the Georgia State campus located there. No drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on June 17th, 2022, Officer H. Floyd of the Georgia State University Police Department was conducting patrol at Lower Wall Street in the parking level of 40 Pryor Street in Georgia at GSU. The officer climbed under the fence at 40 Pryor Street to check for transients. The officer made contact with 2 parties who were having intercourse in the parking lot. The parties involved were identified as co-defendant Tracy Cooper and defendant Summer Stevens. The officers arrested both parties, and all these events occurred in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, we're asking for a surety bond because mainly this defendant poses a risk of reoffending. She has 8 cycles out of South Carolina, 2 cycles out of Indiana, 3 cycles out of Illinois, and 1 cycle here in Georgia, Your Honor. To add, this defendant has criminal trespass charges, a history, a 2018 arrest out of Illinois for criminal trespass, 2017 a criminal damage to property arrest out of Illinois. Then we've also have a 2019.
That's right. I've already heard the criminal history. So as far as repeating it, but if there's anything else that I've missed.
No, Your Honor, I just want to highlight that she does have some felonies in her record and some violent felonies to that matter.
Okay.
Nothing further.
Okay, thank you. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 22 years old. She tells me that she is currently not employed. She does have a GED, she tells me, and she's trying to get some work. The co-defendant, Your Honor, was her boyfriend, she tells me. While I acknowledge my client's history, Your Honor, I would say that the charges that she has and the incident was essentially victimless. I think that based on what she is accused of doing, that a signature bond would be a good option for her, just based on what it is. I think the likelihood of her reoffending is quite low. And she's just 22 years old, Your Honor, and she tells me she really wasn't trying to do anything wrong, but she didn't know that the police officer would have reacted the way he was, or that he would have even seen that.
All right. She does have extensive history, but given that she's young and unemployed, and I'm assuming she does not go to Georgia State.
She does not, Your Honor. And she can stay away from Georgia State.
Okay. And what about with the victim? Do they live together or?
The co-defendant is someone that she lives with, Your Honor. It's her boyfriend.
All right, I'm going to order a $2,000 surety bond, $1,000 on each charge. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. No further violent contact with the co-defendant, Tracy Cooper. And a stay away from all Georgia State campus property. And that will be my ruling.
Your Honor, my understanding was that whatever they were engaged in was consensual. There was no allegation of him harming her or her harming him.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, I will change it to a $2,000 signature bond through the jail.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That is what I'll change it to, $2,000 SOB jail. But a stay away from all Georgia State campus properties and no further violent contact with Mr. Cooper.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome.
Next, we have position 16, Lucena.
This is 22 CR 003894B, Elijah Lucena. One count of obstruction of law enforcement and a second count of giving a false name. Offense date June 17, 2022. Pretrial.
12 total. Resident of Chicago. Last arrest was 2020, possession of a controlled substance. Hold on. Yeah. Before that was another 2020 arrest, says cannabis trafficking. 2019, he was arrested on an ordinance charge. 2019, he was arrested for issuance of a warrant. 2019, arrest for ag assault, domestic battery, unlawful restraint. I don't see a disposition for that. He got a possession of a controlled substance conviction from 2018. Another 2018, possession of a controlled substance. 2017, same thing. 2019, arrest in California for possession of marijuana for sale. That's it. And he got a fugitive warrant too, according to the booking sheet.
All right. Ms. Webb.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on on June the 17th around 3:30 a.m., where the Fairburn Police Department was conducting traffic operations and noticed the defendant was driving southbound on Donson Road in Fairburn, Georgia, near State Route 92 without his headlights on and made a turn without stopping at a stop sign. Officer initiated his emergency signals and the defendant continued to drive and did not yield or stop to those lights activations, Your Honor. He drove to a house on Village Green Drive and exited the vehicle with a woman, and they both proceeded to walk towards the house. Officers commanded them to stop in the car and remain in the car, and they did not listen to his commands. Officer did request backup, and they were finally able to detain the parties and to begin their investigation. The defendant did give the officers a false name of Kenneth Sanchez with a date of birth of May the 22nd of 1995, which did not return. The officers then ran his fingerprints, and they were able to see that he was a fugitive from justice out of Illinois for that violent offense that I will not disclose on the record, Your Honor. The state is recommending a total $2,000 surety bond, $1,500 for extraction, $500 for the false name with no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition, considering that the defendant is an out-of-state out-of-state offender, Your Honor. He has no ties to the community, and as well as his history, Your Honor, we are concerned that he will not return for further prosecution. Nothing further.
All right, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Elijah Lucena is 25 years old. He is a resident of Illinois. However, he does have family and friends in the Atlanta, Georgia area. He states that he was here visiting. He has 3 children, ages 13, 9, and 3. Your Honor, Mr. Lucina completed high school. He informs me that he is a truck dispatcher. He has been in that position for the last 1.5 years. And I would ask, Your Honor, that given the nature of the allegations, these are nonviolent offenses, and the fact that he does have that other issue in Illinois, I would ask for a signature bond so that he may be released to deal with that warrant. If Your Honor is not inclined, then I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,000, and that would be $500 for each charge. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to issue a $2,000 surety bond. That will be $1,500 on the obstruction, $500 on the false name. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And is there anything else, counsel, I need to take up?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor.
Your Honor, what was that bond amount again?
2,000 surety.
Thank you.
We're done. Next, we have position 22, Yeomans.
This is 22 CR 003886G. Makeen Yeomans, charged with 1 count of battery family violence. Offense date is June 3rd, 2022.
Wait on me. 10 total. Last arrest was 2019 probation violation for felony theft by receiving. 2019 possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission, misdemeanor obstruction, entering auto. 2019 armed robbery of a business that was out of Forsyth County. Another 2019 entering auto. 2017 trespass. 2016 trespass and obstruction. He's on probation for theft by receiving and entering auto. He went to felony earlier and got a $45,000 good bond. That's it.
All right. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This event occurred on June the 3rd of this year around 6 a.m. at an incident location of 213 Harwell Place. That's Harwell, WELL Place, Apartment G, Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta Police Department responded to a domestic dispute, and the victim is Cassandra Favors. That is Cassandra, CASSANDRA Favors, FAVORS, advised that her and the defendant were in a violent dispute that started off verbally. The victim was leaving that incident location, Your Honor, with the party's children, and after she refused to have sex with the defendant while the child was sleeping in the bed with them, and he decided to kick her out. As she was leaving, the defendant slapped her and took one of her shoes and threw it on top of the apartment building, and they continued to argue. Following thereafter, while she was trying to call the police, the defendant struck her in the face with a closed fist, Your Honor, causing her to sustain scratches on her neck, which were noticed by the responding officer. The state is requesting a $3,000 surety bond with a no further contact order with Ms. Favors, a stay away from that incident location, and if that's not the victim's home, Your Honor, a stay away from her home address, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a 1-day anger awareness, and third-party contact with any shared children between the parties. Your Honor, the state is concerned with the risk of reoffending, as the defendant has several violent offenses that are open and pending, including possession of a firearm doing a felony from Atlanta from 2019, armed robbery out of Forsyth from 2019, and a theft by receiving an obstruction out of Sandy Springs from 2019 as well. He also has convictions for possession of firearm out of Fulton County from 2019, as well as a probation violation from 2019 out of Fulton, Your Honor. I wanted to sound for Ms. Favors because I wasn't for sure. I believe our victim advocate attempted contact was unsuccessful this morning, but sometimes victims call back. So I just wanted to see if we were able to make contact with her. Nothing further, Your Honor.
She never called back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Makeem Humans is 23 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He shares a child, an 8-month-old, with the complaining witness. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at the incident location. That is Mr. Humans' grandmother's residence, and he informs me that Ms. Favors does not live there. Mr. Humans completed high school. He is currently employed at Capital Materials. He has only been in that position for about 3 months, Your Honor. Today, we deny the allegations. My client wants contact with Ms. Favors. However, I was unable to reach out to her, so we will defer to the court's ruling. I am requesting a signature bond. My client is presumed innocent in any open cases as well as this case. If Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,000, as he does have that significant bond amount to pay for the other open case, Your Honor. So in summary, signature bond or a bond of no more than $1,000. We are opposed to the stay away, and we would ask for the no violent contact and of course third party transfer. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to order $3,000 surety bond. I'm going to order no further violent contact with Ms. Favors. And I will do like I did with the other case. If Mr. Yeomans makes bond and goes back to the incident location, 213 Harwell Place, apartment G, and Ms. Favors is residing there, he cannot stay there. If she is not residing there, then he can. 1-day anger awareness course. And if there's going to be visitation exchange between the parties, they do that with a third party, so as to not violate any conditions of bond.
Your Honor, if, just so that I'm clear, the one time he needs to accompany the residents with law enforcement, correct? To confirm that Ms. Favors isn't there?
Correct.
And Your Honor, may you waive the 1-day anger awareness? I do have concerns about his ability to pay, that he will more likely lose his job, Your Honor.
All right, I'll waive the 1-day anger awareness.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you done. Judge, this is Katrina. I'm just trying to clarify the condition because I'm kind
Ms.
of.
Lewis?
Yeah, this is Ms. Lewis.
Okay, what were you saying?
You're saying that no further violent contact, and you're ordering the third party transfer of the child?
Oh, I see. Right. That would be contradictory. So if he has no further violent contact, then they can exchange visitation of the child. So he won't need a third party escort.
And you're asking them to stay away from the 213 because nobody said or clarified if that's his grandmother's house. You're still verifying to stay away from there?
Well, we said that he would have a one-time police escort to go back there to ensure that she's not residing there. If the victim is residing there, he cannot live there. If she is not, then he can. So one-time escort to determine whether the victim resides there.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I did state in my argument that she does not live there.
Well, we just have to ensure, I want to make sure that she's safe.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, because I did find an address for her, but that's fine.
You found an address for the victim that is different?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And Your Honor, just for the record, the state would just like to reiterate that this incident did occur in the presence of the party's child. It is an incident of violence, so we are opposed to the no further violent contact. I believe I did not hear any contact has been made with Ms. Favors. So just for the record, we just want to put that on there.
All right, what do you have so far, Ms. Lewis?
I have no further violent contact with the victim, and then to stay away from the 213 Hartswell Place unless the defendant does not resign there, but must return with the law enforcement to verify that she no longer resigned there.
Okay, I'm not trying to make it hard on you because I know you're by yourself today, but if we already have confirmed or we have another address for the victim, then I would feel better allowing him to go back there.
I'm sorry, Judge, excuse me. He's already gone out the courtroom.
That's fine.
Okay.
We'll leave it as we have it. That's fine.
Okay.
We'll just leave it as we have it, Ms. Lewis.
And nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Next, we have position 18, Mr. Norwood.
This is 22 CR 003890J. To charge Mr. Norwood with 1 count of driving with license suspended, 2nd count of failure to keep a proper lane, and the 3rd count of the seatbelt violation, all with the offense date of June 17, 2022. Pre-trial.
His third arrest, July 2021. It says drugs general category for resale out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. 2018 suspended license out of the city of Atlanta. That's it.
Okay. Ms. Webb.
Your Honor, the facts of this case are relatively simple. Around 1 a.m. on June 17th at the 1000 Cato Street, that's C-A-T-O Street in Atlanta, Atlanta PD was conducting a traffic stop, and the officers pulled over the defendant after he failed to keep and maintain a proper lane by driving in the middle of the roadway. The defendant was not wearing a seatbelt, and he was not licensed, and his license is currently suspended. Your Honor, otherwise, because of these are nonviolent offenses, the state would request a signature bond. However, and in addition to those charges that you've heard from pretrial, he has FTA twice in 2021, as well as twice in 2017. He has improper lane change from 2019. He has another no license on person from 2018, another seatbelt violation from 2017, as well as additional several traffic infractions on top of those, Your Honor. So the state is going to request a low surety bond since we do believe has a flight risk and a risk of reoffending, Your Honor. So we are requesting a $1,000 surety for this license suspension and $250 surety for each additional count, totaling $1,500 surety with no driving as a condition since his license is presently suspended, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. DeAndre Norwood is 24 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He is the primary caretaker of his 2 minor children, ages 1 and 7. He has a high school diploma. He is employed. He informs me that he works at a recording studio. Your Honor, we are denying the allegations today, and I am requesting a signature bond. If your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,000. That would be $500 for driving while license suspended and $250 for the remaining counts. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to order a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order, obviously, no driving, Mr. Norwood, unless you have a valid driver's license from DDS, which we determined at the present that you do not, so you should not be driving. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And that $1,500 is the breakdown, $1,000 on the first charge, $250 on the other 2, Ms. Lewis. And that should conclude this case.
That was a good bond, Judge?
Signature bond.
Signature bond.
Signature bond through the jail for $1,500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you're done. Next, we have position 12 and 13, Mr. Jackson.
I'm gonna call both of these. These are different victims, I assume, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. Similar facts in both cases, but they do, and the same incident location at the warrant as placed in the warrants, Your Honor, but 2 different victims.
Okay. All right, we'll try to combine them in the essence of time. The first case being 22 CR 003880E, 1 count of criminal trespass on July the 20th, 2021. Second case is 22 CR 003882E, 1 count of simple battery, a 2nd count of criminal trespass and damage to property with the offense date of March 15, 2022. All right, pretrial, what do you have?
13 total. Last arrest 2020, shoplifting, Clayton County. On probation in Fulton for criminal attempt to commit armed robbery, ag assault with a deadly weapon. 2 counts, possession of a firearm by convicted felon. In 2015, they gave him 10 years probation for that. Cobb County got a cruelty in the 2nd degree on probation for that. 2013, they gave him 10 years, 2 to serve, 8 years probation. You want more? Or that's enough.
That's good. All right, Ms. Webb.
Your Honor, the first incident occurred on July 20th of 2021 around 6 p.m. with a victim named Latasha Gay. That's Latasha Gay, Gay, at an incident location of 132 Linkwood Road, Northwest Atlanta. In that case, the defendant is alleged to have shot the victims, fired a single shot, into the victim's tire of a Dodge Durango and left the scene. Officers did make contact with him via phone that day, but he refused to return to give his side of the story. Your Honor, in a later incident that occurred earlier this year on March the 15th at that same incident location, the Atlanta Police Department responded to a domestic dispute involving an Angelique Reddick, that's spelled Angelique Reddick. The victim advised that the defendant came to that incident location, parked his car next to hers in the driveway and hit it with the door, then proceeded to exit the vehicle where the two began to verbally argue, and the defendant struck the victim with a closed fist in the head and then took a screwdriver and punctured all 4 of her tires and then fled the scene, Your Honor. Considering his criminal history, which you have heard from pretrial, we are concerned with risk of reoffense and a flight risk, Your Honor. We're still conducting an investigation to see what exactly is going on at the incident location and the defendant's ties to that incident location, Your Honor. But we are concerned because these incidents do involve a firearm. He does have previous felony convictions, and they occurred within months of each other, Your Honor. There are preset bonds in this case, Your Honor, and the state is not going to ask for any amendments to those bonds. There are bonds set at $5,000 surety on the criminal trespass and assault charges, and $500 surety on that second criminal trespass charge, totaling $10,500 surety. We're going to request that those bonds remain the same as set by the magistrate court, and with a stay away from that incident location, no further contact with the victims, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a 1-day anger awareness, Your Honor.
All right, repeat the existing bonds again.
Yes, Your Honor. For that first case that involves the criminal trespass and the assault charges, they're $5,000 each. And for that second case with the criminal trespass, that is $500. They are all surety bonds, and that totals $10,000 and $10,500 surety, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Keeman Jackson is 29 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He has 3 minor children. Ages are 10 years old, 2 children ages 10 or age 10. He also has a 2-year-old and a newborn. He is the primary caretaker of his children, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Jackson informs me that the complaining witness in the matter that allegedly occurred July 20, 2021, Ms. Latasha Gay, that she does not live there, and that is in fact Miss Angelique Reddick's residence, Your Honor. So we would be opposed to a stay away at that incident location. I did have the occasion to speak to Ms. Reddick on the telephone. She states that she wants to continue having contact with Mr. Keeman, and I would just bring with Mr. Jackson, I would bring to the court's attention that this incident is alleged to have occurred in March of 2022. Again, they have remained they actually are continuing in their relationship together. She states that she could not join the Zoom hearing today because she is at work. And just a little bit more about Mr. Jackson, Your Honor. He completed 9th grade. He has been unemployed for 6 months. Therefore, he does not have the means to pay anything toward bond. we are denying the allegations in both matters. In the first matter, I would ask for the criminal trespass that Your Honor grant a signature bond. And if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then a bond of no more than $500. And again, we are unopposed to the no contact order with Ms. Gay, but we are opposed to the stay away, as it is my client's position that it is Ms. Riddick's residence at 132 Linkwood Road Northwest. Regarding the second case, or position 13, I am requesting a signature bond in that matter as well, primarily due to my client's finances. If Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then a bond of no more than $500 for each offense. That would be for a total of $1,000. Again, we are opposed to the stay away and would ask that Your Honor grant a no violent contact order. And lastly, Your Honor, given his financial situation, if he receives a surety bond, I would ask that you waive the 1-day anger awareness, primarily because I do have true concerns about his ability to afford that given his employment status, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, on the first case, I'm going to continue with the $500 surety bond. And no further contact with Latasha Gay. And you're saying that this address is the other victim's address?
That is what he tells me, Your Honor, along with Ms. Riddick.
Do we have any other information on that, Ms. Webb or Ms. Lewis?
No, Your Honor, and I would ask the stay away, stay in place, because we don't have any information if Ms. Latasha Gray resides there, if she's a frequent guest there. We don't know. Not to say that I don't believe the defense, but I don't think they have that information either. So we would just request to stay away until we can further address that at a later date and time.
All right, I'm going to order the stay away from the 132 Linkwood Way. And no further contact with Latasha Gay. On the second case, we have the existing bond of $10,000, $5,000 on each charge. I'm going to just continue with that bond. $10,000 surety bond. No further contact with the victim, Angelique Reddick. And on this case, we have to stay away from the same address. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. And I'll waive, and I won't require him to do the 1-day anger management course.
And Your Honor, if I just may clarify with my client whether or not he needs a one-time law enforcement escort to retrieve any belongings.
Okay. Do you need that, Mr. Jackson? Do you have any belongings at this location, this Linwood?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So we don't need the escort.
Thank you.
All right. Should conclude these two cases.
So the on position number 13 is going to be with the original bond is on the booking screen already, or $10,000 surety, $5,000 on each charge.
Yes, let's keep
Okay.
remain with that. Yes.
Okay. And did you order no weapon, no alcohol, no weapons? What I didn't hear.
Oh
that.
yes, I'm sorry. On both, no drugs, alcohol, and weapons while on bond. Thank you.
All right, we're done. Next, we have position 11, Henry.
This is 22 CR 0038885J. Mr. Joshua Henry, charged with 1 count of battery family violence, 2nd count of simple battery, both with the offense date of June 17, 2022. Pre-trial.
This is first adult arrest. He got 19 juvie arrests.
Okay.
That's all.
That's fine. Ms. Tortorella.
Yes, Your Honor. For the battery family violence, a $4,000 surety bond. For the simple battery family violence, a $4,000 surety bond. Total of $8,000 in surety. The conditions: no contact with the victim, Amaya Ortiz, and she is present on the Zoom, Your Honor. It's AMAYA. The last name is Ortiz, ORTIZ. to stay away from the incident location at 283 Westlake Avenue Northwest, apartment B, as in boy, in Atlanta. That he take a one-day anger management class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on June 17th, 2022, the Atlanta Police Department responded to a domestic dispute located at 283 Westlake Avenue Northwest, in apartment B in Atlanta. Upon arrival, the officer learned that defendant Joshua Henry and victim Amaya Ortiz lived together and have 2 children together. Ms. Ortiz said she and the defendant got into a verbal argument, and the defendant walked out of the house and Ms. Ortiz locked him out. When the defendant wanted to come back inside, he could not, so he came into the house from a window. After the defendant came inside, he was confronted by Ms. Ortiz about him breaking the window, and the defendant responded by shoving Ms. Ortiz, causing her to receive a 6-inch scratch across her arm. The defendant then proceeded to place his hands around Ms. Ortiz's neck, which caused some restriction of airflow. The defendant was arrested, and all of these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, we are asking for an $8,000 surety bond. I understand that the 19 cycles are his juvenile record. However, it's still pretty evident that he poses a risk of reoffending while out on bond. And given the nature of the facts of this matter, Your Honor, we do feel that an $8,000 surety bond is more than justifiable for this case. Nothing further. Oh, and Ms. Ortiz is on the line.
All right. Ms. Ortiz?
Hi, Your Honor. I just wanted to say, yesterday was just a bad day. He is not a bad guy, and I do want to still have contact with him. He is a great father. Tomorrow is Father's Day, so I would love for him to be out and be here. And when he did not restrict any airflow, he did not break the window. He just grabbed the AC unit and placed
Okay,
it.
I'm not gonna go over the facts with you. Are you in fear, Mr.?
No, ma'am.
And how old is the child you all have together?
We have a 1.5-year-old, and I'm 8 months pregnant, so another one on the way.
And you're not married?
No, ma'am.
All right. All right, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Joshua Henry is 20 years old. He is an Atlanta resident. He informs me that he and Ms. Ortiz relocated here 2 months ago. They do share a 1-year-old son. We are opposed to any stay away conditions. As we heard from Ms. Ortiz, she wants to continue having contact with him, as does my client. And it's my understanding that both their names are on the lease. Your Honor, Mr. Henry has a GED. He is unemployed at this time, Your Honor, but he tells me that he is scheduled to start a new job at Chuck E. Cheese on Monday, and that we are desperately requesting that signature bond because he needs to get out to pay his rent, Your Honor. We heard about, well, we actually do not have any violent convictions, and regarding the bond amount, Your Honor, I do believe that it is quite excessive. We heard about 19 cycles. We're not to consider that because these are juvenile offenses. And furthermore, we don't even know if any of the convictions were for violence. Therefore, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond. The report that I received states that he is recommended. I would ask for no violent contact order, and I am opposed to the stay away. And that concludes my argument. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I ask some questions to Ms. Ortiz?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Your Honor. Do I need to swear her in, Your Honor?
I'm sorry, yes, I forgot to do that. I apologize. Raise your right hand, Ms. Ortiz. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Tortorella.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Ortiz, did you tell the officer that the defendant placed his arms around your neck?
Yes, ma'am. But that was nothing but just force. I didn't lose any airflow or any consciousness, so that part was false. And he also did not break the window. I called the officer at 8:53. They arrived at like 12. And he had then removed himself from the house, so I didn't even need them. But they came 4 hours later. If he was such a violent man, I would have been hurt or not here right now.
Okay, so if there's any body worn camera, it wouldn't have you in the footage stating that you lost some airflow.
I did not lose any airflow. He had just put his hand around my neck, but he did not squeeze it. Like, it was just right there.
So on the video, you will be stating that? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nothing further from this victim, Your Honor, this witness. I do ask, Your Honor, since there's not enough cooling off period, that he stay away from the victim. And if I understand that Father's Day is coming up, we could do a third-party transfer so he could spend some time with his children. But at this time, the state does request no contact. Nothing further.
All right.
And Your Honor, lastly, my client denies the allegations, and we've heard from the witness. I am again opposed to any no contact and stay away orders. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to grant the $8,000 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order that Mr. Henry will stay away from the location of 283 Westlake Avenue Northwest, Apartment B. Mr. Henry, you need to find somewhere else to go stay while you're on bond. Going to order no further contact with the Maya Ortiz. I'm going to order that if there is an exchange of visitation with the son, that be done by a third party. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, and weapons while on bond. And I'm going to order the one-day anger awareness course.
And may Your Honor order a one-time law enforcement escort?
One-time law enforcement escort to retrieve his personal belongings.
Your Honor, may I say something, please?
Mr. Henry, the judge has ruled, I do not want you to make any statements that will hurt your case. I will certainly give you a call to discuss your concerns.
Ma'am, I'll be living on the streets. I don't.
Mr. Henry, the judge has ruled. I
I'm
want you to remain silent, please.
giving your signature bond through the jail, so,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
all right.
Your Honor, thank you. This concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
You don't get caught, man. You can go back. Thank you, guys.
Judge, we're gonna let South Phoenix go next.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Before you is Ms. McLean, position 17,
Thank you.
and she did hear her rights.
Okay. This is 22 CR 003895A, Tamika McLean. You're charged with one count of criminal trespass. The offense date is June 17, 2022.
Yes.
First arrest.
First arrest, okay.
Yes.
Your Honor, in this case, the state is recommending a $5,000 signature bond. I will put the facts on the record. The Sandy Springs Police Department responded to a domestic dispute involving defendant and her live-in boyfriend. The officers actually had just responded to that incident location at 225 Franklin Road, Sandy Springs, around earlier in that day on the 17th, Your Honor. The second incident occurred around 2 a.m. Officers came and were able to defuse the situation without making any arrests, and the parties agreed to stay in separate rooms. However, shortly after they departed the scene, Your Honor, the two began to argue again. The victim advised that as soon as the officers left, the defendant started yelling at him and that he had to lock himself in a closet because she began screaming and throwing his items outside of the house. Your Honor, for those reasons, we are requesting a $5,000 signature bond with a stay away from that incident location, no further contact with the victim, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and one-day anger awareness. Your Honor, I apologize. I accidentally deleted the victim's name. Let me get the victim's name 1 second, and I will put that on the record as well.
Yeah, I think Ms. Lewis may have it. Go ahead. All right, Ms.
Victim name is Brian Matthews.
Brian Matthews?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And he's on the Zoom as well. He was on the Zoom.
Do I see a Brian Virgil?
Yeah, yes, that's him.
I'm here.
All right, Ms.
Okay,
Thomas,
thank
do you
you.
want to go first or you want the victim?
We can hear from Mr. Virgil or Virgo. Sorry if I missed.
Mr. Is it Matthews or Virgil?
Virgil Matthew is my middle name.
Oh, okay. Your name is then Brian.
Virgil.
Oh, Virgil is your last name.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you want to address the court?
Yes.
I'll need to swear you in if you do.
Okay, that's fine.
Raise your right hand. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. Are you in fear of the defendant?
No, ma'am, not at all. We're gonna actually continue our relationship whenever she does, if she's able to. Hopefully, she's able to get out today.
Okay.
But we are definitely I'm willing to continue our relationship.
Okay, and you all reside together at the Franklin Road?
Yes, ma'am.
Whose name's on the lease?
Both of ours.
Okay. All right. Do you all have any children together?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Ms. Thomas? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am requesting a signature bond on Ms. McLean's behalf. She's 30 years of age. She is a Georgia resident. She's been residing in the state since, she's a Georgia native. She has family residing here as well. Ms. McLean obtained her bachelor's degree from Clark Atlanta. She's gainfully employed. As we heard from Mr. Virgil and Ms. McLean expressed the same sentiments. They have been in a relationship. They wish to continue a relationship. We are asking for no further violent contact. We are also asking that Ms. McLean be allowed to return back to her residence. As we heard, both of their names are on the lease. They both share in splitting the bills. We also heard that Ms. McLean doesn't have any criminal history. Your Honor, this is her first arrest. So we are asking for a signature bond.
All right. I will grant that $5,000 signature bond. No further violent contact with the victim, Brian Virgil. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I'm going to order the one-day anger awareness course. And I think that would be it. Anything else?
That's pretrial.
It's the same thing.
Oh, signature bond through pretrial. I'm sorry.
All right. You said 5,000?
5,000, yeah.
No violent contact?
Right, no violent contact.
All right.
And that's
Your
nothing
Honor.
further from the state, Your Honor.
Sorry, yes.
Your Honor, I do apologize for interrupting. Regarding position 11, Your Honor, I respect your ruling. However, I was under the impression that Mr. Henry's father was actually in Georgia. His father is not in Georgia. He is in Indiana, he is in Indiana. And as I indicated in my argument that he and Ms. Ortiz relocated to Georgia 2 months ago from Florida, Mr. Henry has been unemployed for the duration of the time that he has been here. He's living with Ms. Ortiz. He will be homeless. He doesn't even have money to get, he tells me that they need to pay their rent, but he tells me that he doesn't even have anyone to pick him up nor any money to, I guess, even get an Uber or taxi home. So I'm asking that Your Honor, please reconsider, given that we have heard from Ms. Ortiz that that Your Honor allow him to return to that residence and that they be granted a no violent contact order, just because he'll be homeless, Your Honor.
Your Honor, you've already made your ruling on the record, and we ask that you keep that ruling. If the defense would like to modify bond, she can go ahead and file a motion to modify before the assigned judge.
Well, Your Honor, my presentation, my client should not have to suffer from my not being clear about my client's resources. And he is present in the courtroom now.
I do understand, and I appreciate you, Ms. Gant, for clarifying the record and the facts that you have regarding your client, regarding the defendant. I'm just concerned about the cooling off period. It's a conflicts in the testimony with the victim, that she understand that we're trying to ensure that she will be safe. And so I'm going, I gave him a signature bond, and he can find alternate housing or friends to stay with until that bond condition is modified. But I'm going to stand to the original ruling.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
And Your Honor, if I can respectfully address the court, I understand that the matter of Bryant Smith has already been discussed. However, I have received information from a superior of mine that this is a high-risk case. He has multiple holds, and the state was advised by the jail that they could accommodate so that he could be heard today on his case.
Oh, that was the case that we set for Monday. Is that true of the jail? I know I had some time constraints and it's 10 after 4. Are we able to accommodate Mr. Smith today?
No, I don't have anybody to pull Mr. Smith.
Yeah, I hadn't received a message on that.
We spoke to a lieutenant from the jail, Your Honor.
Who was the lieutenant? Because I just spoke to Lieutenant Colonel Lee, and I thought the matter was resolved.
I'm not aware of the name of the lieutenant, Your Honor, but I was told that we did speak to a lieutenant at the jail. And this defendant actually has multiple holds, including holds by the U.S. Marshal, Your Honor, that are keeping him in jail. He's been in jail for over 1,000 days.
What time was it?
I'm sorry, Deputy.
Hey, so what happens for us is if they're not on the pull sheet and they're not on the calendar, then we're not prepared to pull them because we read all the warrants in advance, so we'll know what we're dealing with.
The thing, I believe we communicated before the calendar was actually created. So that was our concern, that this was communicated before the calendar was actually created and put in place.
Again, but the communication didn't come to jail court staff, since we're the ones that pull the people for court.
And Your Honor, if I can interject, this is the second interruption of Mrs. McLean's case. Can we get back to Ms. McLean and finish the other clients in the courtroom?
Please.
Yes, I need to do that, and I understand the concern, and I know that this defendant we want out, but we did not understand that there was some accommodations that were going to be made, and I cannot force the jail to do that, especially when they're not equipped to handle or have the proper paperwork and documentation that they need. So I would err on the caution with the deputies in the jail if they cannot produce and bring this defendant up, unfortunately.
Yes, Your Honor.
Unless someone can do something in the background with the jail to do that, and it sounds like we can't, I do need to move the calendar along.
And I apologize to PD Thomas. The state's just concerned about this defendant.
Well, I think more could have been done earlier to have gotten them on the calendar. And there are procedures and protocol that the jail has to follow for the safety of everyone there as well in pulling a defendant at this hour while we're in the middle of the calendar. So if your superiors can call someone at the jail and make that happen while we're on, I'll be glad to hear it, but I cannot force this deputy in this courtroom to make that happen.
And also remind you that he is pro se, so they will have to process the paperwork and then get the paperwork to be, and I will have to create another counter to add them on.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors in play with that. A lot of factors for the solicitor's office to understand they're in play to just bring in a defendant to the courtroom who's not on the calendar with no paperwork, not represented. That sounds very loaded, and that could come back on us. So we have to follow protocol and be careful with that, especially when he's unrepresented. All right, let me get back to position 17, Ms. McLean. I said that she would have a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial, and no further violent contact with the victim, 1 day anger awareness. And I think that is no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Are we clear with that, Ms. Lewis?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is that fine, Ms. Thomas? Is everyone in agreement? Everyone
Yes,
in-
Your Honor, I have the same.
Okay, all right,
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
thank you. All right, who do we have next, Deputy?
Position 9, Mr. Hayes.
Okay. This is 22 CR 003879G. Cordarius Hayes, you're charged with 1 count of battery family violence. Offense date is June 17, 2022. Trial.
Last arrest was July 4th, 2021, failed to appear. I believe.
Total.
I kind of like 11, but I don't know. It's kind of bunched together. One of these states, but I'll get to it. I got a 2016 possession of a weapon, a robbery. The robbery was dismissed, and the weapons. That was out of 2016 Alabama. I got 2015 theft of property in Alabama. 2015 giving false identification to law enforcement, carrying concealed weapon. 2016 crime against person, a robbery first degree. 2018 crimes against person, DV assault third degree. And the July 4th, 2021 FTA, that was for traffic. And he got history in North Dakota. 2020 failed to appear for driving under suspension.
Any violent history?
Yeah. 2019 domestic violence assault out of North Dakota. And another 2020 FTA for simple assault. That's it.
Okay. All right, thank you. Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. For the battery family violence charge, the state's asking for $4,500 good bond. The conditions is that he have no contact with Classy Johnson. The first name is spelled CLASSIE. Johnson is traditionally spelled. For the defendant to stay away from 138 Lamar Avenue in Atlanta. That he take a 1-day anger management class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on June 17th, 2022, the Atlanta Police Department was dispatched to 138 Lamar Avenue in Atlanta. Upon arrival, the officer spoke to the victim, Classy Johnson, who said the defendant, Cordarius Hayes, pushed her to the ground. The officer did observe bruising on Miss Johnson's leg. The defendant was arrested, and all these events occurred in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, we do fear that this defendant will be a flight risk. He has several FTAs on his record. He's a multi-state offender, 5 cycles out of North Dakota, 4 cycles out of Alabama, not to mention the fact that he does have violent offenses in his history, including robbery to the first degree and domestic violence offenses, Your Honor. So for that reason, we do feel like a $4,500 surety bond is more than reasonable for this case. Nothing further.
All right. Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Hayes is 26 years of age. He's an Atlanta resident. He's been residing in Georgia for the past 2 years. He does have family here. Mr. Hayes is also the proud father of 3 small children, a 4-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 6-month-old that he shares with Miss Classy. They have been in a relationship and residing together for the past 2 years. Mr. Hayes also has completed some college. Right now, Mr. Hayes is unemployed. He did express that he's not going to be able to make a high bond amount and that he wouldn't be able to make a bond over $100 since he is unemployed. He doesn't have any assistance with bonds. If the state is requesting no contact and a stay away, we are asking for a one-time escort with law enforcement for him to get his belongings. We are also asking for a third-party transport and visitation with his children.
All right. I'm going to, what was the state's recommendation again?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendations of $4,500 surety bond. Would you like the conditions, Your Honor?
No, I'm clear on that. All right. I'm going to order a $3,500 surety bond, $3,500 I'm going to order a stay away from 138 Lamar Avenue in Atlanta. I'm going to order a one-time police escort to return to get his personal belongings. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim, Classy Johnson. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And if there's to be visitation with the child, there would be a third-party escort so that the bond conditions will not be violated.
Your Honor, the victim last name is Jackson.
Oh, not Johnson, Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Classy Jackson. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, that will be the ruling of the court.
Yeah. Position 7, Dubose.
Michael Dubose, this is 22 CR 003877E. You're charged with 1 count of battery and a 2nd count of affray or fighting, both with the offense date of June 17, 2022. Pre-trial.
19 total.
Right.
Last arrest was back in May, DeKalb County for battery DV. Also has an open criminal trespass, open terrorist threats, and harassing communication.
Okay.
The harassing phone calls is 20 CP 191863. May 2027 out of DeKalb for trespass. I got a failure to appear. Conviction from 2006. 05 ag assault armed robbery conviction.
Okay.
He just got some theft and probation violation before that. That's it.
All right, Mr. Tortorella.
Yes, Your Honor. Give me a moment to look this up.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, so for the battery offense, a $3,000 surety bond. For the affray offense, a $2,000 surety bond, which is a total of $5,000, and it will be a good bond. The conditions is that the defendant have no contact with the cross defendant, Shannon Boswell, that he stay away from the Weston MARTA station at 680 Lee Street in Atlanta, that he take a 1-day anger management class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, this defendant has an open felony case. It's 20 CP 191865 for terroristic threats. The date of the offense was May 13th, 2020. He was released on a $15,000 surety bond on December 7th, 2021, and he's currently in violation of the bond due to the subsequent case, Your Honor. You already heard the facts, so briefly on June 17th, 2022, a MARTA police officer was dispatched to a fight call. The officer found the suspects standing, facing each other in an aggressive fighting stance, and the cross defendant was identified as Shannon Boswell, and the defendant was identified as Michael Dubose. The officer learned through his investigation that the defendant Dubose struck the cross defendant Boswell on the right eye, which caused swelling. And the defendant was arrested, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. You heard from pretrial, this defendant is a multi-state offender, 2 cycles out of Ohio, 16 cycles in Georgia, Your Honor. And for this reason, we do feel that a $5,000 surety bond is more than reasonable for his case. Nothing further.
All right, Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 39 years old. We acknowledge that he has a significant history. But in this case, Your Honor, he denies that he did anything wrong, that he was the aggressor in this matter. The court probably will recall when the co-defendant's case came up that the prosecutor distinctly said that the co-defendant knocked my client down and my client fell over. The co-defendant has admitted that he was the aggressor. My client was actually on his way to a job. It was his first day on this job. He hasn't been working for a long time when this incident occurred, Your Honor. He is definitely has hardship, he's not going to be able to post a bond like that. And given the fact that, as he said, he did not engage in a fight at all, this was a situation where his girlfriend was upset with him, and she was the one who attacked him, Your Honor. And he was just, merely trying to defend himself, but he did not hit her. She was the one who struck him, and he fell down. I would like the court to take that into consideration in setting his bond, Your Honor. He tells me that his mom has cancer and he's her primary caretaker, and that's what he has been doing for over a year now.
And Your Honor, just to make clear, the cross defendant has not made any admissions on the report that he was the aggressor. The officer found probable cause to arrest both because he could not determine who the aggressor was, and he found them both in a fighting stance. Nothing further.
All right. I'm going to order a $4,000 surety bond, $2,000 on each of the charges. I'm going to order, as I did before, I believe, a stay away from the West End MARTA station and no further contact with the cross defendant, Shannon Boswell, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. All right. Anything else, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Position 5, Mr. Cooper.
Your Honor, my business is concluded for the day. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too, Your Honor.
Position 522, CR 003875A, Tracy Tyrone Cooper, you're charged with 1 count of public indecency, 2nd count of criminal trespass, both with the offense date of June 17, 2022. Pre-trial.
55 total. Last arrest was 2017. Battery, simple battery, disorderly conduct. Let's see. Before that, 2016 probation violation. These come out of Athens, Clark County. He's on probation for ag battery, false imprisonment. What else? We got more probation violations. 2016 obstruction conviction, 2014. 2014 parole violation, another 2014 parole. 2013 felony obstruction. It was no further action anticipated. But he was convicted for unlawful to knowingly remove, destroy, circumvent monitoring device. So I guess the ankle monitor. Entering auto conviction, misdemeanor obstruction conviction, 2012. Would you like me to keep going?
Yes, sir. That is fine. Thank you. All right, Ms. Tartarello.
Yes, Your Honor. And this is for Mr. Cooper, correct?
Correct.
Okay. For the PI charge, a $2,000 surety bond. For the criminal trespass charge, a $1,000 surety. That's a total of $3,000 good bond, that he stay away from the 40 Pryor Street Southwest location at GSU. That he have no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, you've already heard the facts of this case, as his co-defendant Summer Stevens was appeared before you prior, but briefly, on June 17, 2022, Officer H. Floyd of the Georgia State University Police Department was patrolling the area in Atlanta.
Yes, hate to interrupt you, but this is the one I'm familiar.
Okay.
Where you saw the 2 parties engaged. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah,
So, yes, Your Honor. So this defendant has poses a risk of reoffending. He has 54 cycles on his record, as you heard from pretrial. As you've also heard from pretrial, Your Honor, he has violent offenses, and not only violent offenses, Your Honor, but felony offenses on his record. So he does pose a risk to commit felonies while out on bond, such as the aggravated battery he pled to and false imprisonment he pled to in 2018 out of Athens Clark County Superior Court. And for that reason, Your Honor, the state state does feel that a $3,000 surety bond is more than justifiable for this defendant. Nothing further.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Cooper strongly denies these allegations. He did express to me that he has been doing detail in the area. He works around that area. He denies that at 10 o'clock in the morning, him and his girlfriend were engaged in any sexual activities. He is 46 years of age. He has been a Georgia native. He has family residing here. He was born and raised in Athens. He is a proud father of adult children. We're asking for a signature bond on these offenses. He was working in their parking garage. I'm not sure how the police officer climbed underneath the underground parking deck, but nonetheless, Mr. Cooper denies these allegations that he was involved in any activity regarding the PI charge, Your Honor. So we are asking for a signature bond. Mr. Cooper has served his time and is currently on probation for the offenses. So we acknowledge his criminal history. He is serving his time. He hasn't committed any new acts, Your Honor. So we're again respectfully asking for a signature bond or a bond amount no more than $1,000 for these allegations.
All right. I'm going to, due to his history, order a $3,000 surety bond, $2,000 on the first, and $1,000 on the second charge. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Then I order a stay away from the 40 Prior Street or Georgia State campus. I'm going to also order no violent contact with the co-defendant Summer Stevens.
I'm kind of confused. You last one, you said stay away from that particular area of Georgia State. The last one you say stay away from all properties of Georgia State.
Okay, in the Summer Stevens, it was a stay away from that particular area. Is that what I had on that one?
For the Summer Stevens, yeah, you said the address, but the other one you had all property of Georgia State. I did not know if they two.
Okay, I'll do the same that I did with Summer Stevens, to stay away from that area.
And Your Honor, there weren't any allegations of violence between the two?
Yeah, I understand that Summer Stevens received a signature bond, but he has 3 or 4 times more of history. I am concerned with that. But I don't feel as comfortable on the signature bond with him versus her. And I'm going to order the $3,000 surety bond on Mr. Cooper.
Hey, excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry, but
Mr. Cooper, I'm going to advise that you remain silent. If you have any questions about these allegations, I ask that you remain silent.
it ain't that, ma'am. I'm in a halfway house. I'm going back to prison. So I violated, I'm in a halfway house. I'm doing an 8-year recidivist.
She froze.
All right, I've given my ruling, Mr. Cooper, to $3,000 surety bond.
But Your Honor, I've been locked up since 2016. I'm in prison. I'm in a halfway house. They already unpacked my stuff for me, send me back to prison. So it don't need me just sitting there here because I'm going back to prison. I don't get out of prison till September 24th, 2024. I'm doing an 8-year recidivist. I violated by catching the charge. They already unpacked my stuff. They just waiting on me to get released from here and send me back to prison. So
Ms. Thomas.
Yes, I talked to her about that.
Sorry, Your Honor, my connection just went out.
Okay.
So I'm just now reconnected to Zoom.
Okay, do you know anything about Mr. Cooper stating that he's in a halfway house?
Yes, Your Honor, and unfortunately, due to these charges, they will be sending him back. As I mentioned before, he had been serving time. He was on probation. They let him out and released him to a halfway house where he has been working. Again, he works in the area cleaning. And then these charges came about. So now he is being sent back. The halfway house has packed his belongings, and once he is released from custody, he will be going back to serve the remaining of his time. And it's my understanding that he will have to max out, which he won't be released until 2024.
State, do you have anything to state?
Your Honor, you've made your ruling, so we ask that you keep your ruling.
And Your Honor, we ask that you reconsider. Again, Mr. Cooper is already in the custody of the state. He's not going anywhere. I don't see why he should remain in jail if they're going to send him to prison anyway, and then he's going to have to still handle these matters. It's not like he's going to be able to go anywhere else. They're literally going to put him, I'm sure, back on the van, back to where he was originally serving his time.
Pre-trial, do you show a hold or anything?
Who is it? Oh, Cooper?
Yeah.
No, not, I mean, not yet anyway. What did make him think he's going back? I mean, he just got locked up yesterday, right?
Yes, I violated by 10.
Exactly. He's in the halfway house currently.
Oh, I don't know. It's Saturday. I have no idea.
Right. I just didn't know what was showing yet.
Yeah, I didn't see a hold.
Right.
Right. He's serving
It's a holiday
currently.
weekend too, so I don't know.
He's currently serving time for I believe the 2016 aggravated offense where they gave him, I believe it was
30 do 8.
20 years or something.
30 do 8.
Your Honor, and I checked the jail screen. There's no active holds for this defendant.
All right, I'm gonna stick with 3,000 surety bond, and then it can be brought back for modification if that is the case.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Position 2, Brewster.
So what you saying? So if I get somebody.
Hold on.
All right, this is 22 CR 003891D. Mr. Brewster, you're charged with 1 count of terroristic threats. Offense date June 17, 2022. Pre-trial.
9 total. 2009 theft by taking conviction. 2011 theft by taking conviction. 2014 theft by taking arrest. 2016 battery DV disorderly conduct conviction out of DeKalb County. 2018 criminal attempt to commit a misdemeanor. 2019 shoplifting and sexual battery. 2019 probation violation, underlying charges, battery, family violence. So this is the 9th arrest right here. That's it.
All right. Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking for a $10,000 surety bond. The conditions is that he have no contact with the victim, and his name is Courtney Walker. Courtney is spelled K as in kite, ORTNEY, Walker traditional spelling. That he stay away from the Howard Johnson by Wyndham Hotel at 4874 Old National Highway in College Park. That he take a 1-day anger management class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on June 17, 2022, Officer T. Frazier of the College Park Police Department was dispatched to the Wyndham Hotel in College Park in reference to a verbal dispute. Upon arrival, the officer made contact with the victim, Courtney Walker, who is a security guard at the location. Mr. Walker said he noticed the defendant, Enriquez Brewster, sitting on the stairs in the stairwell at the incident location. Mr. Walker advised the defendant that loitering was not allowed on the property. Mr. Walker advised the defendant to leave the location if he did not have a room. The defendant said his wife had a room and further stated to Mr. Walker that he take off his uniform so he could, quote, beat his ass, end quote. Mr. Walker instructed the defendant to leave once more. The defendant said, quote, I will kill you. I will blow your head off. I put that on Crip. I will be waiting for you to leave work, end quote. Mr. Walker said he instructed the hotel clerk, Jose Tabodea, to dial 911. Mr. Tabodea said he witnessed the incident and said he heard the defendant say that he was going to wait for Mr. Walker and after work and blow his head off. The defendant admitted to threatening Mr. Walker and said that the security officer drew his gun at him. Mr. Walker said he did not draw a gun at the defendant, and that this occurred in Fulton County, Georgia, Your Honor. Your Honor, just to make a formal announcement, the state will be transferring this case to the DA's office as it should be a felony, terroristic threats. And you've heard from pretrial his criminal history, so he does pose a risk of reoffending. He has 9 cycles on his record, and not to mention violent convictions, Your Honor. So for that reason, we do ask that a $10,000 surety bond be in place for this defendant. Nothing further.
All right, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Brewster strongly denies these allegations. As he expressed to me, he was waiting for a check-in when he was approached by Mr. Walker, who tried to tell him that he was loitering despite him waiting at the Howard Johnson for them to be able to be checked in. Verbal altercation ensued, and Mr. Brewster expressed that Mr. Walker drew his weapon at him. He denies being the primary aggressor. He also strongly denies threatening Mr. Walker with the alleged statement. Mr. Brewster is 29 years of age. He was born in Georgia. He has family residing here. Mr. Brewster is the proud father of 2 daughters, a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old. Mr. Brewster also completed high school. Right now, he is unemployed. He said he does not have the finances to make a high bond. However, he hopes that he will have some assistance with making bond. But we are asking for a bond amount no more than $2,000 for this offense, Your Honor.
All right.
And we're not opposed to a stay away. And obviously, he doesn't know Mr. Walker, so we're not opposed to a no further contact.
All right. I'm going to order a $5,000 surety bond. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim, Courtney Walker, and a stay away from the Howard Johnson Wyndham Hotel on Old National, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Anything else?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
We're completed here in courtroom 2, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is that everyone that's on the calendar today?
No.
Yes. What do you mean no? That's everybody, Judge.
Judge.
Wait a minute. What
No.
happened to position number 20?
3,000 SOB jail.
Number 20?
Yes.
Yes,
Stevens Davis.
yes, we did 20.
Judge, we did everybody. We did.
3,000 SOB jail.
I'm sorry.
Judge Mincy. What
Yes,
about William Harris? I must have missed that one.
What number is that?
I got the SG number 710-797-22.
He's not on the calendar.
Is that on the calendar?
I mean, I received it in my email. I had the victim. Oh, she been on with us since this afternoon.
Oh.
Tierra Harris.
It's
William
a
Harris.
It's a bind over case. It goes straight to state court.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, I'm sorry.
You trying to keep us here now?
I know, my bad. I apologize.
Pre-trial will get you, Mr. Purcell.
I know, right? Miss Harris, I apologize for that. The case has been bound over to the state court, okay?
I apologize, Ms. Harris. I didn't realize you were there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And I'll call you to explain that to you.
Okay.
All right, y'all ready to
All
go
right.
over the calendar then?
Yes.
Okay,
Good.
and I guess, Mr. O'Leary, you would give me that, non-pros or dismissal if I can get the judge to sign it, if I can send along with the paperwork for that individual.
Yes, I will do it.
Okay.
Okay. Remember, all the SAP, anybody made a good bond, it's gonna be set for the SAP for June the 30th.
Yes.
Position number 1, I have a $3,000 surety bond, we set for SAP. Position number 2, I have a $5,000 surety bond, we set for SAP. Position number 3, I have a $4,500 SOB through the jail, we set further notice. Position number 4, I have a $2,000 surety bond, we set for SAP. Position number 5, I have a $3,000 surety bond, we set for SAP. Position number 6, I have a $1,000 surety bond, we set for SAP. Position number 7, I have a $4,000 surety bond, we set for SAP. Position number 8, I have a $3,000 surety bond, we set for SAP. Position number 9, I have a $3,500 surety bond, we set for SAP. Position number 10, I have a $1,000 SOB through pretrial, we set further notice. Position number 11, I have an $8,000 SOB through the jail, we set further notice. Position number 12, I have a $500 good bond, we set for SAP. Position number 13, I have a $10,000 good bond, we set for SAP. Position number 14, I have a total of a $2,000 SOB through the jail, we set further notice. Position number 15, I have a $3,000 surety bond, we set for SAP. Position number 16, I have a $2,000 surety bond, we set for SAP. Position number 17, I have a $5,000 SOB through pretrial, we set further notice. Position number 18, I have a $1,500 SOB through the jail, we set further notice. Position number 19, I have a $2,000 SOB through the jail, we set further notice. Position number 20 is a $3,000 SOB through the jail, we set further notice. Position 21 is a $7,000 good bond, we set for SAP. Position number 22 is a $3,000 good bond, we set for SAP.
All right. Any discrepancies, questions? Everyone clear?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Happy Father's Day. I don't have.
Let's direct that towards channel. I don't know nothing about